Hi, I'm just setting up my gear to go live on 2 different places and just waiting for some things to load up. I'm testing my new microphones because I noticed that with the previous one, I had some problems with sound. Okay, so today, this morning, Monday morning, I decided to take on the topic how to clear resistance to exercising. And this is about physical exercise. So first of all, what does physicality has to do with our emotionality? So I'm a holistic coach, and I'm primarily working with the emotions, with the trauma, with the patterns, with integration. However, once we get in this spirituality and internal work, and then we spend some time in it, what can happen and does happen often, we start to think that we can do everything from the inside and we don't really need to take any physical action. But if you have heard this expression, you know, the holistic and also the Holy Trinity, or by mind, body, soul connection, notice that the body is never taken away out of equation. So our body and our physical health is just important for our spiritual health, just as very, very good exercise physically can make you feel happy and release hormones and release feelings of happiness, the same as you would do after you had a good conversation with a friend, for example. So, so basically, the problem is often we get into this, let's say, spiritual, emotional, psychological work, and we forget that we also have our physical body. And our physical body, as long as we live, hasn't gone anywhere. So with the physical body, which hasn't gone anywhere, one thing that we would need to do is exercise. Our bodies have been designed to move. So we're not really designed to, we're not trees, we're not flowers. So we were not designed, our physiology was not designed just to kind of be put in one place and not to move. So for us to be healthy, we actually need to take care of physical aspect of ourselves, which is our body, our physical health. Okay, so what happens to many of us is we get into procrastination, or we find it difficult to make ourselves to get in any regular routine with exercises. First thing to look at when this happens is we might have some negative associations with exercising. Negative associations with exercising. How is that? How does that work? Well, negative associations with exercising could be, for example, I will be forcing myself to do something that I don't enjoy, something that I don't like. It's just another job, it's just another thing that I need to force myself to do in a scheme of many, many things that I do and I don't want to do. So many people just don't like exercising, just find the exercising boring. For example, you know, going to the gym. So first important thing to do is kind of understand what kind of exercises you like, or maybe you don't like running, you might like dancing, you might not like cardio, you might like weight training, you might not like any of that, but you might love yoga, you might like swimming, for example. You don't like to feeling of being sweaty, so maybe you just want to go and swim. So first of all, first thing to do is to overcome resistance in a way that is not kind of bulldozing through resistance, but to see, okay, why don't I like exercises? Is the gym very far? I don't feel comfortable. For example, if you're a woman and, you know, sometimes we might not really like to we might not like to have this exposure. For example, if we have extra weight or something and we feel that other people are looking at us, we might want to go in the gym that, for example, female only or male only, whichever way it works. So the simple practical things to look at is kind of first level. The second thing is the emotional aspect of why don't you want to do it. Did you in your life force yourself to do something that you don't like? Hello. Hi, Oksana. Maybe in your life you actually don't feel that you have any freedom. Maybe you feel like all you need to do is always just the schedule, just the work, just your duties, and going to the gym is another thing, or exercising is another thing. So if you would change the concept of what it is, so for example, going to the gym and exercising is not something that you have to do because somebody is telling you, but is thing that you need to do because you care about yourself, because you care about your body. Even connecting with your body emotionally, connecting with your body, kind of getting into your body and pretending that the body is separate entity. It is separate entity, but for the sake of this exercise, imagine that you pretend that you just connect with your body and your body is separate entity. And you ask, why don't you like exercising? Why don't you want to move? Why do you resist exercising? You might find that your body feels tired. You might find that your body feels already overexhausted. You might find that exercising for you does not associate with your time, your self-care time, your self-nurturing time. You might find that, for example, exercising is something that I do for somebody else. So if you wanted to, for example, there are other things that you probably like going to the hairdresser, maybe doing manicure, maybe getting massages, maybe some sort of pampering. So if you can change your concept what the exercising is and who is it for, you can also change that resistance, like you're doing it for something else, you're just spending your time on another thing that you don't like. So adding things like changing the exercising activity into something that you like changes association. You can add things like, for example, what I do, I actually listen to audiobooks or I listen to some programs that I like. So for example, if I go to the gym and I spend there more than 1 hour, I have like 1 hour of audiobook of something which is very interesting for me. I had the time to listen to it, or some program that I wanted to follow. So then you start to kind of associate that time with something which is more pleasurable, with something which is, you get like a bonuses, you get benefits by doing that. Of course, with exercising, with the physical health, it's not like you go to the gym once and you're going to see results, right? It's something that you need to do on a continuous basis. You need to accumulate the effort and then you will see the result. Another thing that happens very often, emotional reason for not wanting and feeling resistance to going to the gym is like, when you have time for yourself, if you don't have much time for yourself, especially if you are a very busy person and you have lots of responsibilities and you have lots of things on your list, you probably feel that by going to the gym, you're actually throwing away your only opportunity to have time for yourself. So if that's the case, then what you need to do is, okay, where in my life I can actually have time for myself. So this going to the gym time, if you cannot change going to the gym concept into your time, or you're doing something for yourself, you then need to find another time that you can have your me time, your relaxation time, your wind down time, and you need to schedule it. You need to schedule it throughout the day, or at least a few times per week. Best is to do it every day. You have something that you do for yourself to relax every day, which is not the gym. And then the gym, I'm just using gym, but it could be any form of exercise. And the gym is just a part of self-care. So if you feel that, okay, if you use that 1 hour that you have to go to the gym, you're going to lose all time that you had today for yourself to chill, to relax, to nurture yourself. Then you actually need to schedule separate time for yourself to do that. It's also a sign that you are overloaded with the responsibilities. Yes, the time for myself resonates with me so much. Yeah. The physical effort, it feels like pain and work. Yeah, the physical, the physical effort very often when we start to exercise feels like pain and work. There is a trick to that. So when it is painful, what is the meaning of the pain? So when we feel that, okay, it is painful and I hate it, that's one thing. Or it is painful, therefore something bad is happening. When we change the meaning of the pain, for example, when we go and we exercise and our muscles hurt, it means our body is getting stronger. It means that actually body is feeling some effect. It means that body is getting this outlet for itself to move, to make itself stronger, and it's good. So yeah. What else? What else could be the reason for resistance? Sometimes the reason for resistance is if somebody else is telling you to go to the gym or to exercise. Somebody else is telling you to do it. And you kind of know that theoretically you should be doing that, but at the same time, you may have this internal autonomy or internal resistance because you might think, I don't like to do things because somebody else is telling me. I want to decide for myself. And you may have that resistance because you actually want to make your own decisions. And when somebody is pushing you to do it, you actually, that other part of you who wants to be independent, autonomous, and to make her or his own decisions, saying, no, actually, I want to do what I want to do. I want to go to the gym when I decide to go to the gym. So I'm going to tell you a story, what happened with me. So me and the gym, me and exercise has long relationships. So over last, since I was 20, so 17 years, maybe even since I was 18, I was going to the gym and back, I kind of get into exercise. And then there is a time when I no longer exercise. Then I go into exercises and I get into good routine and then I fall out of it again. Recently, it hasn't been happening that much over the last, let's say, 7 years. However, the lockdown happened this year and all the gyms were closed. And at the beginning, I was making some effort, but after that, I got into this inertia. So what is inertia? Inertia, if in the physics, there is this phrase that says, the moving body has the tendency to remain moving, and the static body has the tendency to stay static. So once we are in this inertia or habit of staying static, our body is static, is comfortable. It's used to that feeling static in a state of non-moving. So what we sometimes need to do, we need to find enough reasons to give momentum to ourselves to start our body moving, rolling into state of movement. So how did I do it? So my partner and also my brother, they started going to the gym once the gyms opened in UK, and I have a gym membership, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna start going. Yes, I'm gonna start going. Yes, I'm gonna start going. And I was kind of going maybe once or twice per week, but I wasn't doing it properly. And then I learned something. I learned that I learned something about discipline. So at the moment, what's going on in my life, I am expanding my business and I'm on a kind of expansion. And what I found out is if we want to be able to do more things, and if we want to be able to have more impact, we need to have enough energy in us to do that. And we need to do that by making our body stronger, because we will not be able to handle all the responsibility and all the things that we will need to deal with if one aspect of us, which is our physical aspect, is not strong. So in order to be successful, in order to make the impact, and to be honest, in one line, in order to achieve your dreams or to have the life that you dream to live, you actually cannot leave out one aspect of you. So if you have one perfect version, how would you ideally like your life to be? How would you like to be in that life? How would you like to look like? What would you do? For most of us, one aspect of that would be looking as good as we can for whatever our, age, or physical, biological, genetical deck of cards is. So for whatever we are, to be the best possible version, to be the healthiest possible version, to be most optimal version. So if we want to have the most optimal life, if we want to be able to create what we want to create, we cannot leave out our body out of that development. So if we developing emotionally, if we working through some issues psychologically, if we are making plans for the future, what we want to create, for all of that, if we want to have more and if we want to have better, what we need to also have, we need to have better health in our body. And that is another thing that cannot actually be left behind, forgotten, or ignored. So once I realized that, and I was like, okay, I'm doing all the emotional work. I'm like emotional, psychological work junkie. It's just so interesting for me. It's just like basically my passion. Therefore, I'm doing this. But one thing that I'm not quite in is in my body and taking care of my body. If we want to manifest things physically in our life, we have to have manifestation vehicle. We have to have a strong enough manifestation vehicle through which we can do it. So one aspect of that is physical exercise, because if we just meditate and do some shadow work, our muscles are not going to change because of that. Our bones are not going to start retain and absorb the nutrients and make itself stronger because of that. Diet is the whole other different aspect, but for me it was that realization, okay, I have big dreams, and for those big dreams I need to have lots of energy, or I need to have at least optimal energy to be able to handle that responsibility of what I want to create. And if I don't take care of my body, if I don't discipline myself in taking care of my body, therefore I will not be able to do it physically. Because one thing that happens once you start exercising, you might be tired at the beginning, but then later you're going to start having more energy, because you will be starting to use energy more effectively, more efficiently. You will be starting making the processes in your body faster. You will be starting to, because you're using lots of energy, you're also taking in lots of energy. So you're increasing this flow which is coming through you. So, okay, so that was my perspective on physical exercise and how to clear resistance from doing exercise, and how to clear resistance and procrastination of not exercising. And yes, in my experience, it was something that needed to change. I changed. I looked at the things that I like doing. I looked at the exercises that I prefer. I also looked at my body and I looked, okay, what do I want to change? Which parts of my body I want to, let's say, make thinner, which parts of my body I need to make stronger, how do I want to look? And And by that, I kind of decided, I need to do this type of exercise, I need to do some cardio, I need to do some weights. And then the final bit was the understanding that if you want to actually create a good life for yourself, which would be good in every sense, the physical aspect, which is your body, cannot be left out of the equation. We only have one body in this life, and that's all we're going to get. We can make the processes of renewal and rejuvenation better and more effective also by exercising. So that was my 2 cents on exercise and why we should exercise and how to overcome resistance of exercising. So that was my Monday morning random topic, which I think it's interesting how every physical problem has emotional root cause very often. And I hope it helps. Please let me know if you want to know about something else. Specifically, I can give you answer, emotional perspective answer, or any kind of physical problem or any kind of physical pattern that you may be stuck in. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on Friday. I will be doing Q&A. I will be choosing one of the questions that I have received. If you want your question to be answered, please let me know. And I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you.